Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a really fascinating journey all about environmental leadership. We're going to be looking at a curriculum that explores how our seemingly small, everyday individual actions actually scale up to shape incredibly complex international environmental governance. So, if you've ever wondered how simply picking up trash in a local park connects to massive global treaties, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get started. Think of this agenda as a syllabus for our pedagogical journey today. We're starting with local actions, global impacts, moving on to the power of collaboration, then why we need innovation, the community connector challenge, and finally, scaling to global policy. Basically, we're zooming out from our local neighborhoods all the way to complex global systems. Section 1, Local Actions, Global Impacts. And really, take a second to recognize how far you've already traveled in understanding your own environmental footprint. You've got the foundational knowledge down. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it ties everything together. You already know that what happens in your backyard doesn't just stay there, right? Think about traveling air pollution or water scarcity. These local pollution and resource issues fundamentally affect everyone globally. But on the flip side, communities working together create incredibly powerful change. And tying all of this together are the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. They act as our shared global roadmap, taking our specific local actions and giving them a true global direction. A vital, absolutely crucial piece of this roadmap is environmental justice. It demands fairness, straight up. It recognizes that marginalized communities often face disproportionate environmental burdens, and it actively empowers individual agency to change that reality. So, by caring for your local environment and understanding these connections, you're already acting as a global citizen, actively helping to make the world a fairer place. Section 2, the power of collaboration. This is where individual efforts really start to compound, and the energy shifts toward community-driven solutions. We know the problems we face on a global scale can seem overwhelmingly huge, but in reality, every small action acts like a crucial puzzle piece in building a healthy planet. When communities, countries, and especially young people work together, these little pieces lock in. Alone, an action might just look like a random piece of cardboard, but fitted together, they form massive, comprehensive global solutions. This brilliantly illustrates that achieving the Sustainable Development Goals requires a completely balanced contribution from every single level of society. It's essentially a four-way split: individual agency, community action, national efforts, and global governance. The big takeaway here: no single slice can carry the whole pie. We absolutely need everyone involved to make this work. Section 3, Why we need innovation. Now, let's shift gears a bit to address the overwhelming scale of these global environmental issues. We have to address the elephant in the room. Our old ways of doing things just aren't cutting it anymore. In fact, the source material specifically points out that the global environmental governance system has outgrown its own original design. Because the world has evolved at lightning speed, these older, rigid systems desperately need to adapt. We need fresh thinking, creativity, and innovation from everyone who sees things from a ground-level perspective to help reform these outdated international structures. Section 4, Community Connector Challenge. This is the practical, solution-oriented part of the curriculum designed specifically to prevent burnout and inspire real action. Since learning about massive global governance can sometimes feel a bit heavy, let's get practical. How can you bridge the gap between your neighborhood and these massive global issues? It's a real challenge to find your specific, vital role in tackling international problems right from your own backyard. So, how do we actually do that?
Well, the curriculum lays out a simple 3-step game plan to become a community connector. Step 1, identify. Grab a metaphorical magnifying glass and find an environmental issue in your school or neighborhood that truly bothers you. Step 2, connect. Figure out exactly which UN Sustainable Development Goal that issue relates to. And step 3, brainstorm. Think of just one small step your community could take together right now to start fixing it.
Once you have that brainstormed idea, whatever you do, please don't keep it to yourself. Draw it out, write it down, voice it to your family, your friends, or your schoolmates. Sharing is the actual engine of collaborative innovation. Your ideas are incredibly valuable, and by simply putting them out into the world, you naturally inspire others to step up and act alongside you. Section 5, Scaling to Global Policy. Let's move to and see how this builds from your local community challenge right up to the macro level. Let's break down this core pedagogical shift. Think about personal impact. That's your local action, identifying neighborhood ecological issues, and empowering your individual agency. Now, contrast that with systemic change, navigating complex global challenges, international organizations, economic factors, and really intricate policymaking frameworks. Here's the secret, though. Those foundational local actions we just discussed serve as the essential stepping stone. You cannot fully grasp the heavy international governance without first understanding that personal impact. And that brings us to the number 110. In the curriculum we're exploring today, this represents 110 minutes of deep dive material waiting for learners in the very next level. Across 10 specific topics, it's going to fully explore multi-stakeholder collaboration and the actual mechanisms of systemic global change.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final provocative question. How will your local community puzzle piece ultimately shape the future of global governance? Because you know now that the massive systems governing our Earth absolutely require your local action to function properly. You've got the tools, you understand the connections, and the board is set. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and definitely keep making a difference out there.